Hi everybody. What do you really want to do? Get started in the garden and grow things, but unfortunately it's February, it's very cold out there, and to be honest the ground is very hard. But it doesn't have to stop you from getting started with your gardening, because there's things you can grow indoors. And today we're going to grow chillies. They're dead easy to grow, you don't need too much equipment, and actually you can keep them going on the kitchen windowsill all year round. Now first we need a little tray this size with holes at the bottom. You need the holes because chillies don't like sitting in water, they like to have free drainage. So let's start by using a mixture of compost, which is peat free. Fill your tray about 3/4 of the way up. There we go, and then shake it out so it's nice and even, and smooth it down, just pat it down so we've got a nice even surface. Now today I'm going to plant these chillies. They're very hot, they're the long, red, thin variety. Now the best way to do it is to tip the packet of the seeds into your hand. Now you could just try and sprinkle across the tray, but if you're like me, I end up with a clump in the corner. So the best thing I do is pick them up in my finger and dot them around by rolling them between your fingers. Now, you're probably not going to need to use the whole packet because there's quite a few here. Now, these can be sown between February and April. So if you've got quite a few, I would put the rest back in the packet, and you can do them next month or the month after to keep your production of chillies going all year round. Now, to cover the top of it over, I always use vermiculite. But if you haven't got any of that, you can simply use some more of your soil, but put it through a sieve so it's nice and fine on the top. And you see, we're not having any lumps coming through, we've got it nice and fine. But I have got some vermiculite here, so I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. Now by sprinkling this over the top, it keeps the water in. There we go, nice covering of that, and it gives the chillies when they're growing something to really grip hold of. Now the one thing chillies like is they do like water and being watered, but they don't like cold water. They don't like being chilly. So what we're going to do is, rather than use a watering can with a rose head that basically is going to flood it out, we're just going to stand the chillies in the tray of water, and we're going to leave it in that tray of water for about an hour. Now the water is room temperature, it's tepid, they don't like cold water, and they will suck up as much as it needs. Now, in a couple of weeks, probably about between 14 and 21 days, your chillies will start to grow. That's when we need to prick them out. We need to take them out of this tray and we need to put them into a pot. Now I start with a pot about this size. Lift your chillies up very carefully and don't touch the stem. If you're going to transport the chilli into the little pot of soil, and you can use the same compost soil again, about 3/4 full. There, pick the chilli up by the leaf. Make a little hole with your finger and pop the new plant in. And again, this time you can just top it up with some more soil. That chilli plant will go now to a couple of inches. And when it gets to a couple of inches big, you need to transfer it again. This chilli is going to have about 3 house loads before it's settled. And you can put it into either one of these pots. A pot this size will grow a medium chilli, and a pot this size will grow a nice big chilli plant. These are the ones I usually use. So again, very carefully, you're going to take your chilli plant, lifting it up by the leaves from this pot into this one, and this is going to be its final home. Now when your chillies are ready, they can go in the garden. But to be honest, it's not that hot in England all the time, so I suggest a greenhouse. You can have them out during the day, but bring them in at night. If you haven't got a greenhouse, it really doesn't matter because they love living on the windowsill. So simply pop them on the windowsill. Feed them with some liquid feed about once a fortnight and mist them regularly. This is the best way to do your chillies, with a nice mister, because it gives them the right amount of water without drowning them. And again, remember, they don't like cold water. And remember, the chillies start off growing green. The green ones are milder. You can pick them whenever you want. The longer you leave them, the hotter they become. And there's so much you can do with chilies. You don't just have to eat endless amounts of chili con carne. You can make wonderful things like a really nice chocolate and chili cake, or you can make bottles of chili oil. And when you put them in those lovely little presentation bottles, they make wonderful gifts for your family. And of course, the best thing of all is chili jam. Don't put it on your toast in the morning. Keep it for your cold meats and your cheeses in the summer, and it makes a wonderful addition to a burger. And if you really want to go ahead with the chili jam, which I thoroughly recommend, the recipe will be on the Sea Green Gardeners website, so you can all have a crack at making it. Enjoy your chili journey, and thank you very much for listening.